Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video I will be talking about the Washington football team and their playoff chances heading into the final weeks of the season. Why I think it's possible, but it will be difficult for Washington to make the playoffs. So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe for Washington and NFL content, hit that like button and turn on those notifications. It really helps out a ton. And also check out WinView and follow my Twitter. Both of those links are in the description. I'm trying to grow that Twitter platform, so go ahead and follow that. Let's get right into the video. So after 14 weeks of the NFL season, the Washington football team sits at 6-7 on the year, which puts them at the 7th seed currently in the playoffs. They're tied with 4 other teams though, but Washington has the tiebreaker. So, they are in a good spot. They have a chance to make the playoffs, but they have 4 games left, 2 against the Eagles, 1 against the Cowboys, and 1 against the Giants. And if they want to make the playoffs, realistically, they're going to have to win 3 of those, and that's really tough. That's going to be tough, and they'll have a chance though. If they win 2 out of the 4, it's not a great chance, but they'll still have a chance of making the playoffs. We're going to look at all those statistics and everything, in the next few minutes. But 6-7, they've got to win at least 2 games, and it's going to be tough because you look at this team, they already were a very injury riddled team, but last week they just got a ton of injuries. Terry McLaurin out with the concussion. We'll see if he plays this week. Ioannidis had an injury. I know Sheriff and Leno both had injuries. I think Sheriff came back. Leno didn't. And, we had, some other injuries as well. And then obviously the outbreak that happened yesterday, we have Jonathan Allen on the reserve list. We still have Montez Sweat on the reserve list. And who knows how many more there will be. I mean, it's been crazy the last few days how many players, not only on Washington, but across the league have been put on the reserve list. I think the Rams put like 8 players on just today. And they already had a couple, that they put on the reserve list, the last few days. So it's been crazy. I think the Eagles, are relatively healthy, but Jalen Hurts is banged up. But we're gonna have to, if we want to make the playoffs, beating the Eagles is very important this week, and it's gonna be tough because we are shorthanded. So that's why I think we can make the playoffs, but it's gonna be difficult. But it does start this week against the Eagles. If we sweep the Eagles, we have a very good shot of making the playoffs. Here's this, playoff, predictor, kind of just like the percent chance. Right now, we have a 27% chance of making the playoffs. Last week we had over a 50% chance. The Vikings have a 29% chance, and the Eagles have a 37% chance. But you look at what happens if we win this game, our chances go to 55%, and the Eagles go all the way down to 10%. And let's say, we beat Philly again, that puts us at 75 on the year. Obviously, still depends on the other games. Let's say we go a loss for that game. Or sorry, I put a win there, but you put a loss there and a win against the Giants. You're basically guaranteed to get in the playoffs if you win 9 games, at least in the NFC. You look at that, that's 3 games right there. Puts us at about an 88% chance of making the playoffs. We've got to win 3 out of our next 4. Winning 2, you have a chance of making the playoffs, winning 2 games, but it's gonna have to be winning sweeping the Eagles. If you want to do that, you're gonna have to sweep the Eagles, and you'll have a chance. It says right here a 36% chance, 35% chance of making the playoffs. So these Eagles games are the most important games if you want to make the playoffs, and if you want any chance of making the playoffs with 8 wins, you have to sweep the Eagles. But we want 9 wins. And yeah, this game against the Eagles is very important. But I still think we can make the playoffs. We just have to stick with the run game. You look at our 4-game win streak. What was the thing that we had in common in those 4 games? We controlled time of possession. We continued to run the ball with Gibson and some of the other backs, and we allowed Heineke to not have to force things. We didn't need Heineke to do a ton to win us those games. Last week, even though the run game wasn't working, I thought we went away from the run game too quick And, then the Cowboys got off to that big lead and we couldn't run the ball much. And it was unfortunate because that's what got us there. So I think that Scott Turner, even if we're down a little bit, stick with the run game a little bit more than he has, because it's what got us here. It is what got us here in a 4-game win streak. So I think that's what Washington needs to do. Just continue to run the ball. And if they can do that, I think they will be able to win some of these games. I mean, obviously, the Giants game, that's the one you obviously 100% have to win, and then you're going to have to win 2 out of the other 3, unless you do sweep the Eagles, but that's going to be tough. So you're going to have to steal a game. You're going to have to beat the Eagles at least once, and then maybe beat the Cowboys, and it's going to be tough. But, we just played the Cowboys at their healthiest, and we lost by 7. Probably should have been more, but, they definitely outplayed us. We got some points at the end there, but they were playing at their absolute healthiest they've been all season, and I highly doubt this is what they're going to look like in a few weeks. They're going to have more injuries, and we played them probably at the least healthiest we've been all season. Obviously, now we've gotten even a little bit less healthier, but I think most of that is because of COVID. I mean, these guys, by the time we play the Cowboys next, unless they have a season-ending injury, all these guys will be back, and some other guys also will be back against the Cowboys. So we have, obviously not a great chance to win, but I still wouldn't count us out against the Cowboys. But the Eagles games are the most important games if we want to make the playoffs. If we sweep them, I really think we're going to make the playoffs. And this week, Jalen Hurts is a little bit banged up, so we're going to have to try to take advantage of that. But also, I'm really interested to see these COVID cases, what's going to happen, because, we put like 5 players on the list yesterday, and then, even, the league just as a whole, so many teams are putting players on this list the last few days. So I don't know, what the teams are going to look like in a few days. So that could really, really change things. So that is something to keep our eye out for. And, I have, another reason why I think we can still make the playoffs is this defense. I trust this defense. This defense is playing its best football. I know they allowed 27 points to the Cowboys, but 7 of those were, a fumble that was returned for a touchdown. And, at least, more, 3-6 points were because of the offense putting the defense in a bad situation because of turnovers, and that's against a really good offense. So I'm liking what the defense is doing for Washington, and that's without Montez Sweat, Casey Toole, and James Smith-Williams last week. So they're going to continue to get healthier. This coming week against the Eagles, we might have Sweat. Hopefully we'll have Sweat and Allen. There's still a chance as long as Allen gets 2 negative tests. And I believe the same thing with Sweat, but the earliest Sweat can get cleared is on Saturday because he is unvaccinated. And Casey Toole and James Smith-Williams, same thing with them. If they're vaccinated, I believe they can come back once they get 2 negative tests. So it was unfortunate we played against the Cowboys so short-handed, but we might be getting reinforcements. But, Tyler Larson also got hurt this week. We don't know what Charles Leno's injury is. Same thing with Terry McLaurin. We'll see if he plays, because if he doesn't play and Jonathan Allen doesn't play, we really don't have a shot. But I think Jonathan Allen is more important just because, obviously Terry McLaurin is super important to this offense, to this team, one of the most important players. But on this win streak, we won games with Terry McLaurin only having like 2-3 catches for like 30-40 yards is because we were controlling the run game. So it's still possible to win without Terry McLaurin. But if you don't have Terry McLaurin and you don't have Jonathan Allen, that's really when it gets tough. So that's why I'm saying, like, we can still make the playoffs, but it's going to be difficult just because, we got to win probably 3 out of our next 4. And it's just like the injuries. I don't know if we're going to be able to overcome these injuries, because if we were like a relatively healthy team this year, I think we would have 1 or 2 more wins than we have right now. But we're just getting, unhealthy at the wrong time. So that's going to be it for today's video. Also, forgot to, mention it, but Logan Thomas did in fact, there was in fact damage to his ACL. A lot of people reporting that it is, torn or partially torn. So, but, Adam Schefter, he says that he believes that Logan Thomas will be back for the start of the 2022 season or before that. So that's good. That's good news that he's going to be back before 2022, but bad news that it was damage to the ACL. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a video. Peace, guys.